I can't do this anymore. Matty, I miss you. The real you. My best friend. The person I could tell anything to without hesitation. Now, you're the one thing I can't figure out how to fix, Liza cried. Do you think this is easy for me? I miss being your safe place, Liza. But somewhere along the way, we stopped being us, and now, it feels like we've lost everything that made us work. Crossing the line? Liza and Matty had always been inseparable. From the first day they met in college, it was like they were destined to be best friends. People always assumed there was something more between them, but they never crossed that line. They were each other's confidant, the person they could turn to through the good and bad times, especially when it came to their relationships. They saw each other's struggles with partners and offered support like only a best friend could. But things changed when they both ended up working at the same advertising firm. It was during long nights in the studio and coffee breaks that blurred into hours that they began to wonder if they could be more than friends. It seemed easy. Why not try? After all, they already knew each other inside and out. There was no need for the awkwardness of dating or putting their best foot forward. They'd already seen each other at their worst. One evening after work, they sat together at a quiet diner. Matty stirred his coffee. You know, people have always thought we'd end up together. Liza smiled, playing with the edge of her napkin. Yeah, they did. Kind of funny, right? What if they weren't wrong? He asked, a hesitant edge to his voice. Liza looked at him, her heart skipping a beat. She hadn't expected this conversation, but now that it was out in the open, she wondered why they hadn't talked about it before. Well, she began slowly, I guess there's only one way to find out, and just like that, they crossed the line. For months, it felt like the best decision they had ever made. Being in a relationship seemed like a natural extension of their friendship. They went on dates, spent weekends together, and the transition felt seamless at first. But soon, things began to change. The small quirks they used to laugh about as friends turned into annoyances. The little fights that used to blow over now lingered, festering in ways neither of them could have predicted. One Saturday afternoon, they sat in their apartment after yet another argument about something trivial. Liza sighed heavily, running her hands through her hair. I miss talking to you, she said quietly. Matt frowned. We're talking right now. No, Liza shook her head, her voice strained. I mean really talking. I miss you as my best friend. I used to be able to come to you about anything, but now, it feels like you're the problem, and I can't talk to you about it. Matty's face softened, and he looked away. I feel the same way. I miss us as friends, too. I didn't think it would be this hard. The silence between them was heavy, filled with the weight of unsaid words. After a long pause, Matty spoke again. Do you think maybe we made a mistake, crossing the line? Liza felt her heart tighten in her chest. Maybe we were always meant to be best friends, not more. It was a devastating realization, but deep down, they both knew it was true. Their relationship as lovers was eroding the bond they cherished most, their friendship. With tears in their eyes, they decided to break up. Months passed. They avoided each other, not because they wanted to, but because it was just too painful. Seeing each other was a reminder of what they had lost. They avoided their usual hangouts, stayed away from mutual friends, and threw themselves into work. Then one afternoon, Liza was walking down the street, lost in thought, when she bumped into someone at the door of their old favorite cafe. It was Matty. Oh, she said, surprised. Hey. Matty gave a nervous smile. Hey. They stood there for a moment, the awkwardness between them palpable. But then, something shifted. The ice that had formed between them began to melt. I miss you, Matty admitted softly. I miss talking to you. Liza's heart warmed at his words. I miss you too. They sat down at their usual table, the one they hadn't visited in months, and for the first time in what felt like forever, they talked. Really talked. The conversation flowed as easily as it had before, and slowly the pieces of their broken friendship started to come back together. By the end of the afternoon, It was as if nothing had changed between them. They were Liza and Matty again, best friends. As they stood to leave, Matty looked at her with a smile. "I'm glad we bumped into each other." "Me too," Liza replied, feeling a sense of peace she hadn't felt in a long time. And just like that, they found their way back to each other. Not as lovers, but as the best friends they had always been meant to be. Subscribe for new short story every day that lift your spirit and help you learn English.